When did a group chat notification make you consider calling the police? Holy shit, you guys. I literally just found out the most insane, convoluted, petty drama that has ever happened in my adult life. And I'm sitting on the floor of my apartment closet right now because the thought of facing the living room and the Wi-Fi router, which I am pretty sure Ashley is still trying to remotely hack, NGL, is giving me actual palpitations. My hands are shaking so much I almost dropped my iPhone 14. Don't even know where to start with this dumpster fire, but let's just say it involves a forgotten 31st birthday, a Twitter thread that went viral for all the wrong reasons, and my sister's toxic-ass ex-girlfriend trying to ruin my life, all culminating in me needing to seriously consider contacting law enforcement over a damn group chat notification. Yeah, you heard that right. A police report over a text chain. I'm Denise Roberts, 25F, and I used to think I was the stable one. Past Denise was such a naive idiot. Okay, so the setup. I have this core friend group that has been tight since college, or so I thought. There's me, the perpetually stressed out peacekeeper. There's Ashley Edwards, 31F, who is successful, works in finance, drives a beat-up Toyota Corolla because she insists on saving every penny, but is also fiercely competitive about everything. Like if I said I had a headache, she'd have a migraine that required emergency Talenti gelato. Then there's Nicole Smith, 22F, the baby of the group. Nicole is sweet, usually quiet, but she started her first real corporate job last year and has suddenly become this weirdly aggressive email CC warrior. She literally replies to every text like it's a formal memo, including using bullet points, which is just the most bizarre thing ever, but whatever. And we have the problematic adjuncts. My older sister, Shirley Roberts, 29F. Shirley is drama incarnate. She was technically Ashley's friend first, but Shirley dated this absolute menace for 2 years, 8 months, and they broke up last fall in a nuclear fashion. Shirley is the ex who just won't go away, constantly lurking on everyone's Instagram stories and liking ancient Facebook photos just to be weird. Is toxic, but she's family, and Ashley kept her around, probably because Shirley acts as a reliable benchmark for Ashley to feel superior to. I know I need to set boundaries with my sister, but she lives in apartment 3B, 2 floors below me, so escape is futile. And finally, we have Megan Hernandez, 31F. Megan is Ashley's actual twin. They share the same birthday, May 17th. Megan is sweet but utterly obsessed with becoming TikTok famous. She quit her stable job to focus on content creation full-time, which means every interaction must be documented, filmed, and monetized. She keeps trying to convince me to do a day in the life of a stressed millennial collab. No thank you. The core issue started about 2 weeks ago, on Tuesday at 11:47 a.m., right when I was scarfing down a slightly sad leftover Chipotle bowl at my desk and dealing with my 14th consecutive Zoom meeting. It was Ashley and Megan's 31st birthday. Now, I had already sent Ashley a long text at 7:00 a.m., ordered a $43.67 Trader Joe's delivery to her mom's house in Westfield, where Ashley was staying the night before, and I had yes to the expensive dinner they were planning for Saturday night at that fancy seafood place where the cheapest appetizer is $30. I thought I was golden. I was meticulous. I was the one who sent out the initial Zelle request for the joint gift we got them, a new Apple Watch. I had been on top of this. But then Shirley, my sister, the lurking menace, dropped a text into our group chat, the one hilariously called less drama, more mimosas, HHHA, the irony. Shirley texted, "Hey Ashley and Meg, wishing you the best 31st birthday ever. So glad we could finally celebrate last night." I felt my stomach drop immediately. Wait, celebrate last night. I texted back instantly. Wait, celebrate what? Did I miss something? I thought the dinner was Saturday. Nicole Smith, 22F, our resident email CC warrior, replied, but like in full sentence structure, which is always jarring. Denise, based on the communication thread from last Thursday, Ashley and Megan held a small, informal gathering at the coffee shop on Main Street from 5:30 p.m. to 7:00 p.m. yesterday. Attendance was RSVP only. I stared at the screen. I did not recall any such communication thread. I checked my texts. Nothing. I checked my email, where Nicole often sends formal invites because she hates iMessage. Nothing. I texted Ashley directly. Ash, what is Nicole talking about? You guys had a mini party? Why didn't anyone tell me? I literally spent $347 on the joint gift and the groceries for your mom's house. Ashley, who usually responds within seconds, was radio silent for 20 minutes. I was typing up a frantic run-on text about how I felt left out when she finally responded. Ashley texted back, "OMG Denise, sorry. My phone battery is dying. It's this old Samsung Galaxy, I swear. I need to upgrade." Yeah, Shirley planned a little impromptu thing. We thought maybe you were busy. Remember you said you had to work late? This was a total fabrication. I distinctly remember checking my PTO hours and vacation days left on Monday because I was planning on requesting Friday off. I had zero intention of working late, especially on a Tuesday. I replied, "Ashley, that's BS. I told you I had a presentation, but I was done by 4:00. I offered to grab Starbucks. Why would I not be invited to your actual birthday celebration?" This is where the competitive switch flipped in Ashley, and trust me, when that happens, you are DED done. She responded, and this is an exact quote. I screenshotted it because I knew this was going to get ugly. "Denise, honestly, you're always so focused on work and being the peacekeeper that sometimes you just don't have time for the fun stuff." Shirley arranged it was low-key. Plus, you literally forgot to post a birthday story on Instagram until 10 p.m. You're being dramatic. Or too sensitive. Ouch, you're being dramatic. That phrase literally makes my blood boil. And the Instagram story comment? Pure Ashley. She treats social media likes and views like stock market earnings. I was fuming, sitting there at my desk with my inbox count sitting at 247, my heart doing that frantic little skip thing it does when I get stressed. I felt that gross combination of rage and humiliation. I was the person who always remembered everyone's birthday, often spending too much money because I hate feeling cheap. And here I was being accused of forgetting? I texted back, trying to keep my head, but using all caps because I was seeing red. I was not invited. Don't gaslight me. You know I don't miss BRTHDYS. And if SHIRLEY planned IT, that means SHE deliberately didn't include ME. Cause let's be real, Shirley Roberts, 29F, hates my guts. Why? Because I stood up for her ex-partner during their awful breakup, telling Shirley she couldn't just change the Wi-Fi password and lock him out of the apartment lease they both signed. The disrespect of her planning a party and excluding me was astronomical. Ashley didn't reply directly, but she posted an Instagram story showing a carousel of photos from the coffee shop party, yes, with a professional aesthetic filter. Shirley was there, Megan was there, and Nicole was there holding up a cake with sparklers. I watched it 3 times, trying to decipher if I was remembering things wrong. I know, bargaining phase, but I felt so stupid. Then I saw the text from Nicole, 22F, our email CC warrior, who often over-explains things in a way that just makes it worse. Nicole texted. Per Ashley's request, I checked the message log. Invitation was posted in a private Twitter direct message thread approximately 48 hours prior to the event. Due to the high visibility of the group chat Less Drama More Mimosas, we elected to move the communication to a less public forum. Wait, a Twitter DM thread? Who uses Twitter DMs for party invites? I don't use Twitter regularly, maybe once a week to check celebrity gossip or look at funny memes. I certainly don't rely on it for actual communication. You knew that? I literally told Ashley last month when she tried to send me a funny TikTok DM that I keep my Twitter notifications off because I was trying to reduce screen time. The report showed I was averaging 8 hours a day. I'm working on it. This was a deliberate exclusion. They knew I wouldn't see it. This wasn't forgetting. This was a calculated move, spearheaded by Shirley, and enabled by Ashley's need to prove she had a closer inner circle. I was devastated. I physically stood up from my desk and walked to the office bathroom, not caring that I had my boss name on a conference call at 4:30. I ugly cried in the third stall, mascara smearing onto my iPhone screen. The emotional trauma combined with my stress acne flaring up was just too much. Later that night, I went home, ignored my mom's, who lives an hour away, 27 calls in 1 hour. She's always convinced I'm dying if I don't answer. And I logged into Twitter determined to find this phantom thread. And oh my God, what I found was so much worse than exclusion. I found the DM thread. It was called Ash's Real B-Day Crew. Nice. And the conversation wasn't just about the coffee shop party. Shirley, 29F, had started a thread 2 days before and she was talking about me. Shirley's exact text in the DM said, NGL, I wish Denise, 25F, would stop trying so hard to be the mom friend. It's annoying. Also, her job is boring. She told me she spent $1,247 on rent this month for that tiny place. LOL. Megan Hernandez, 31F, the TikTok famous seeker, had replied, TBH, I heard her PTO hours are totally capped out, so she probably wouldn't have come anyway. Maybe we should film a friend group shade reveal TikTok, it would go viral. And then Ashley Edwards, 31F, my supposed best friend, chimed in with the dagger. Ashley wrote, she's always saying she's too broke to come out, but she's constantly getting Amazon packages. She probably just wants the attention of being invited, but not having to spend money. I'm literally saving for a down payment. She needs to get her priorities straight. I saw her Zelle transaction for the $85 plumber charge last week. Pathetic. I froze. My security deposit on my apartment is still tied up from my last place. And yes, I had a leaky pipe that cost me $85, but how the hell did Ashley know about my Zelle transaction? Share a few financial details sometimes, like splitting a Costco bill, but she doesn't have access to my full transaction history. I checked my phone security settings immediately. I checked my Apple Watch. Nothing looked overtly hacked, but the paranoia was creeping in. The audacity of her judging my $85 plumber bill while she drives a car that smells faintly of old gym socks. I went back to the Twitter DM thread, trembling. The betrayal was staggering. Weren't just excluding me, they were actively dissecting my financial situation and mocking my life choices, fueled by my toxic sister, Shirley. The Twitter DMs continued, detailing plans for the actual Saturday dinner, the one I was still technically invited to, but they were planning an intervention about my stress because I need to be less intense. I was done. Just done. I sent a single text back into the Less Drama, More Mimosas group chat, and then archived the entire thing. To the group, I just saw the Twitter DM thread. Saturday is off. I suggest you all learn how to use actual communication methods that aren't specifically designed to exclude people. Have fun with your pity party. I blocked Ashley's number and social media instantly. I blocked Shirley. I muted Nicole, even though I knew she'd try to email me. The immediate reaction was explosive. My phone screen started lighting up like a Christmas tree. Hit 47 notifications within 5 minutes. Ashley tried to call me 12 times from a blocked number. Shirley tried to Venmo request me $5 for bad vibes. I kid you not. Megan, 31F, sent me a text, which I saw because I forgot to block her first, that read, Denise, wait, we didn't mean it. Shirley was just ranting. Can we talk about this? This is literally the kind of high-stakes drama that would make for an amazing YouTube video. Please don't blow up the friend group. Think about the content. I laughed, a truly bitter, hysterical laugh that turned into a sob. Everything always filtered through the lens of content and performance for her. The next day, I was still reeling, trying to focus on my $1,247 rent payment due soon, when Nicole Smith, 22F, our resident email CC warrior, escalated things into a new dimension of weirdness. She didn't text, she didn't call. She used her corporate work training to maximal annoying effect. I received an actual professional-looking email at my personal Gmail address, subject line, urgent, fractured friend group mediation resolution. It was formatted beautifully, 12 PT times New Roman, bold headings. The email read, Dear Denise Roberts, 25F, I hope this email finds you well. Following the termination of communication via iMessage and subsequent social media blocking, I am initiating this formal channel to resolve the current conflict. 1. Analysis of the conflict. The core issue appears to be the deliberate exclusion of your person from the informal birthday gathering on Tuesday, resulting in emotional distress and feelings of betrayal. We acknowledge this error. Proposed resolution. Ashley, 31F, proposes a virtual meeting via Zoom this Friday at 7:00 p.m. EST to facilitate dialogue. 3. Required documentation. To move forward, Ashley requires documentation confirming the $347 expenditure on the joint gift and the $43.67 grocery bill, as she feels your claim of significant financial investment is being leveraged as a manipulation tactic. I read point 3 and my vision swam. They want to audit my receipts? They want proof of my expenditures to validate my feelings? I didn't reply to the email, but I screenshotted it, printing it out because I genuinely thought I was losing my mind. But the final straw, the one that makes me think I need to genuinely speak to someone about harassment and maybe even fraud, happened this afternoon. I finally calmed down enough to unblock Ashley and send one last message demanding an explanation about how she knew about my $85 Plumber Zelle payment. I hit send, waited 5 minutes, and saw the read receipt pop up immediately. She texted back a minute later, LOL, did you really think I didn't still have access to the old joint Hulu account linked to your email? Or maybe the password manager you idiotically shared when we set up the Ring doorbell 2 years ago. Seriously, grow up, Denise. I stared at the text, shaking. I changed the Hulu password months ago, but the Ring doorbell, it's connected to everything. My Amazon account, my banking app notifications, my address, and most crucially, the security cameras I set up on the perimeter of my mom's house in Westfield, because we had a spate of package thefts. I rushed over to my Ring app, my heart pounding in my chest, and navigated to the shared users section. And there it was. Not only was Ashley Edwards, 31F, listed as a shared user, but under her username, she had just changed her status from guest to owner administrator 45 minutes ago, giving her full access to the footage and controls, including the ability to disable it. And beneath her name, listed as a secondary shared user, was a new, unfamiliar email address. The display name next to the email address was Police Report Generator. I don't know who is using that email address, but I have a chilling, terrible suspicion that this entire Twitter feud, the calculated exclusion, the financial auditing, and the hostile takeover of my security system is not just petty friend drama anymore. And I have footage from my own mother's Ring camera that I can no longer access, potentially containing evidence of something. I don't know what. I have to call someone. My friend just said she's coming over to help me change every password I own and maybe smash my sister's car windshield. I told her no, but the thought was tempting. But first, I need to know what that email address means. I need to know why Ashley thinks she needs a police report generator linked to my house security system. My jaw is clenched so tight my teeth hurt. I'm going to look up the legal definition of digital trespassing. TBH, I think I need to call the actual police, but I am terrified of what they're going to tell me. This is no longer just about a forgotten birthday party. This is escalating. I am literally hyperventilating in my closet right now, and I just realized my security deposit is still tied up and I cannot afford to move or pay for a lawyer. What the actual fuck do I do? I'm going to check the Ring footage one last time before she locks me out completely. Wish me luck. I'll update you if I survive. Holy shit, you guys. I'm back. I survived the closet barely. My friend Jess came over last night, bless her heart, and she brought an industrial-sized bag of microwave popcorn and an $18 bottle of cheap Cabernet. She also brought her laptop because my brain was completely fried. I sat in my living room, surrounded by my anxiety, which smells faintly of old Chipotle and fear, TBH, and we immediately focused on that one horrifying detail. Ashley Edwards, 31F, becoming an owner administrator on my Ring doorbell system and that new user account listed underneath her. Police report generator. Jess, who is a paralegal and therefore knows things, immediately said, Denise, this isn't friendship drama. This is criminal trespass and possibly cyberstalking. You're changing every password right now, all of THEM, starting with the Ring. It took us 3 hours. 3 agonizing hours where every time I typed in a password, I realized it was some variation of the same 3 horrible phrases. My high school mascot, my cat's name, or Peacekeeper 123, which is just sad and GL. While Jess was manually resetting my Amazon password, which was connected to the Ring and apparently my life, I decided to do the thing I said I would do but was completely terrified of. I called the non-emergency police line. I was shaking so badly, I could barely hold the phone. I explained in the most pathetic, stammering way possible that my former best friend had deliberately excluded me from her birthday, posted mean things about my $85 plumber bill on Twitter, and then hacked my security system. The police officer on the line, whose name was Officer Rodriguez, I wrote it down, obviously because I'm a mess, sounded completely bored. He told me that unauthorized access to my security camera was a civil issue unless I could prove they had committed a tangible crime using the access, like breaking in or threatening physical harm. Ma'am, unless she's actively watching you right now or has posted explicit threats, this is a dispute between tenants' friends, he said, and I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell him that my peace of mind was tangible, that the betrayal felt like a physical assault, but I just said, yes, officer, and hung up. So much for the instant police report. Jess looked up from her laptop. Okay, we're locked out of the Ring, but so is Ashley, and the mysterious police report generator. I used a 30-character complex string. She's not getting in. We did a celebratory, albeit teary high five. Small victories, right? The question remained, what the hell was police report generator doing there? Jess used her weird paralegal connections to run the email address through a public records check, and it came up belonging to a shell company in Delaware called A Squared Litigation Support. Jess theorized that Ashley, who is in finance and fiercely competitive, wasn't just planning on being petty. She was prepping for a lawsuit or a formal business disagreement, even though this was about a forgotten birthday party. Ashley is treating this friendship breakup like a hostile takeover, Denise, Jess said, taking a massive gulp of wine. She wanted evidence of your manipulation or financial instability that she could leverage later if you tried to sue her for defamation, which she obviously deserves. It was a preemptive strike, weaponized pettiness. This confirmed everything I suspected about Ashley's competitive nature. She didn't just want to win the argument, she wanted to win the divorce. I spent the next 2 days in a total fugue state. I called out of work on Thursday, telling my boss I had a severe stomach flu, which wasn't entirely untrue considering the stress. I binge-watched 3 seasons of a reality show about competitive baking and ate the entire bag of popcorn. Fast forward to Friday, 9:00 a.m. I woke up to a notification, another email from Nicole Smith, 22F, the email CC Warrior. Subject line, follow-up, documentation request and mediation proposal, urgent action required. I almost didn't open it, but curiosity and the sheer audacity of Nicole won out. It was exactly 3 pages long. Nicole had created a full color-coded spreadsheet in the body of the email. Dear Denise Roberts, 25F, reference is made to my prior communication dated Wednesday, 11:47 a.m. 1 documentation deficiency. We have not received the required receipts validating the $347 joint gift expenditure or the $43.67 grocery purchase. Failure to provide this documentation by close of business today, 5:00 p.m. EST, will necessitate the withdrawal of Ashley Edwards, 31F, offer to mediate. 2 breach of contract clause. Ashley notes that the original agreement for the Apple Watch joint gift, purchased from Best Buy on 5/10/24, serial #G89L03T, paid via your Chase Sapphire card, stipulated that the recipient, Ashley/Megan, would be given the device unconditionally. If the current friendship fracture leads to litigation, Ashley reserves the right to counterclaim for the full $347, plus a 15% interest accrual rate, calculated annually, prorated hourly, due to emotional distress caused by your sudden and unwarranted termination of contact. 3 Communication protocol. Please note, all future communications must be routed through this email chain to ensure a formal paper trail, as suggested by external counsel. 4 Mitigation effort. Megan Hernandez, 31F, has prepared a 5-minute TikTok video titled Friendship Meltdown. Who pays the bill? Which she believes will address some of the current tensions. She will be sending the link to this chain for review and approval prior to public posting. We anticipate your swift reply. Sincerely, Nicole Smith, on behalf of the Ashley Edwards Party, AAP. CC, A Squared Litigation Support, Delaware.shell@company.com. I actually screamed. Not just a gasp, but a full, primal scream that probably worried my downstairs neighbor, Shirley, LOL, serving me justice. They were citing interest rates on a birthday present, and Nicole had CC'd the fake shell company email address, confirming that Ashley was treating this like a corporate dispute. This was beyond petty. This was weaponized financial acumen. I looked at the part about Megan's TikTok. This was truly the cherry on top of the trauma sundae. Megan was turning my emotional breakdown into content. I took a deep breath. I realized this wasn't about the birthday anymore. This was about Ashley's need for control and superiority, fueled by Shirley's malice. I typed out a reply, but Jess, who was watching over my shoulder, still munching on popcorn, hit backspace. No, Denise, you don't reply in their format. You escalate. You give them a taste of their own corporate medicine. Jess and I spent the next hour drafting the single most formal, ridiculous email I have ever written. We even downloaded a fancy signature template. Subject line, ACCANOWLEDGMENT and cease and desist. Unwarranted demand for documentation and breach of personal privacy. Dear Ms. Smith, 22F, Ms. Edwards, 31F, and Ms. Hernandez, 31F, receipt of your communication dated Friday, 9:00 a.m. EST is hereby acknowledged. 1 documentation request. Any and all financial records pertaining to my private, personal expenditures, including gifts purchased on a voluntary basis, are considered highly proprietary and privileged information. The request for documentation of the $347 gift and $43.67 groceries is rejected as irrelevant to the core issue of calculated exclusion and subsequent invasion of privacy. I note that Ms. Edwards' demand for validation of investment constitutes further manipulation and is rejected outright. 2. Financial fraud cybersecurity. We are currently in consultation with legal counsel regarding the unauthorized access and administration changes made to my private home security network, Ring, and the unlawful monitoring of my banking information, specifically the $85 Zelle transaction for plumber services. Please be advised that any further attempts to access my personal digital footprint will be reported directly to law enforcement as attempted identity theft and cyberstalking, as permitted under state statutes 740 ILCS 130 and 720 ILCS 516D3. 3. Cease and desist content creation. Regarding the proposed public dissemination of private conflict via the social media platform TikTok by Ms. Hernandez, you are hereby ordered to cease and desist all efforts to create, record, or publish content related to the current dispute. Should this private dispute become public domain via your monetization efforts, we reserve the right to pursue full monetary damages for emotional distress, defamation, and invasion of privacy. For communication termination, all communication regarding this matter is to cease immediately. Further contact will be considered harassment. We suggest Ms. Edwards and Ms. Roberts focus their energies on resolving their personal issues and immediately remove all unlawful access to my digital assets. Sincerely, Denise Roberts, 25F, private citizen. I hit send. It felt like launching a nuclear missile. My hands were shaking again, but this time, it was from adrenaline, not fear. The aftermath. The weekend of silence the entire weekend was strangely quiet. No calls, no texts, no emails from the AEP, Ashley Edwards party. I spent Saturday binge-watching the rest of the baking show and feeling genuinely nauseous about the $300 Jess said a full legal consultation would cost me. I realized I couldn't afford a full legal battle, but sending that hyperformal email had clearly spooked Ashley and Nicole. Ashley, the competitive finance shark, was clearly terrified of legal terminology that wasn't on a spreadsheet. I knew the silence wouldn't last. Shirley, my toxic sister, was still lurking 2 floors below me, and Megan still needed content. Update: Monday morning, 8:30 a.m. I finally had the guts to log into Twitter again, just to see if the Ash's Real B-Day Crew DM thread had been deleted. It hadn't. What I found instead was a public Twitter war. Shirley Roberts, 29F, who I thought was blocked, had created an entirely new burner account called Just Sister Things. She had started a thread, which was now trending regionally in our town, NGL. The thread was titled, "When the Peacekeeper Friend is Actually the Most Selfish." The entire thread was an attempt to justify her planning the private birthday party and excluding me. It was full of outright lies and malicious distortions. Tweet 1. My sister Denise, 25F, always makes everything about her. She's too busy being stressed out about her $1,247 rent to show up for real friends. Referencing the DMs. Tweet 2, she claimed she spent $347 on a gift, but TBH she probably zelled us $10 and is inflating the number for sympathy. Referencing the audit request. Tweet 3, she's claiming harassment because we changed a party location. This is what happens when you let a perpetually victimized person stay in your life. Tweet 4, this was the real punch to the gut. Shirley posted a blurry, zoomed-in screenshot of a text message exchange from 3 years ago, completely out of context, making it look like I had demanded Ashley pay for a taxi after a dinner we split. The original text was me asking Ashley to Zelle me her half, but Shirley had edited the photo to remove Ashley's reply, making it look like I was financially hostile. I was enraged. Public defamation, fueled by my own sister, using highly manipulative screenshots. I texted Jess immediately, SHIRLEY is ON Twitter defaming me, burner account Just Sister Things. Help. Jess replied instantly. Screenshots, everything. We are going to war. The unexpected ally, Nicole Smith's transformation. I was still shaking when my work computer started pinging with a personal email. Not from Nicole's corporate address, but her personal Hotmail account, which she never used. Subject, Ray, ACCANOWLEDGMENT and cease and desist. The email was short, unformatted, and used actual lowercase letters. It was jarring. Denise, I saw the thread Shirley posted. I think Ashley gave her the screenshots. I want you to know I never agreed to that part. I just replied to emails. My job makes me type like that. I'm so sorry. I actually did send you the invite for the coffee shop party. It was via a secondary email chain that I accidentally sent to your old college spam account, which I know you haven't checked since 2019. I checked the message log again. It was my mistake that you were excluded, not a deliberate plot at first, although Shirley definitely ran with it and made it into one. I need to tell you something about Ashley. The police report generator email is tied to her work legal department. She was using it to run background checks on the people in the friend group to find leverage. She ran a query on me last week about my student loans. I'm done with her. I am sending you the original, unedited version of the taxi receipt screenshot and the full Twitter DM log, including the parts where Ashley and Shirley were planning to get rid of you anyway because you made them look bad for saving money. I am sorry for being an email warrior. I was trying too hard to fit in. I am sending everything now. Block me after you get it. I deserve it. I stared at the screen. Nicole Smith, 22F, the email CC warrior, had cracked. She had broken ranks and provided the hard evidence I needed. I quickly downloaded the attached zip file. It contained a perfect, time-stamped log of the Ash's Real B-Day Crew DM thread, including Ashley's judgmental commentary on my Zelle payment and my rent. It also included the high-resolution, unedited text exchange, proving Shirley had doctored the evidence. This was huge. This was proof. Tuesday, the confrontation that went viral, and not for Megan, I spent Monday evening with Jess organizing the evidence. We had the initial corporate email from Nicole, my cease and desist, the hacked ring footage proof showing Ashley changing her status, and now the full unedited Twitter DMs and the doctored screenshot proof, courtesy of reformed Nicole. I decided I wasn't going to drag this out. Ashley and Shirley wanted drama and confrontation, and I was going to give it to them, but on my terms. I found out through a mutual acquaintance that Ashley was having a business brunch at that super expensive downtown cafe, the one she always posted about, claiming she was hustling. I dressed in my most professional, non-stressed outfit, a beige blazer and jeans NGL I tried, and printed out 2 specific items. 1, Shirley's defamatory Twitter thread, the 4 worst tweets. 2, the printout of the cease and desist letter I sent on Friday. I arrived at the cafe at 11:30 a.m. I saw Ashley instantly, sitting at a corner table with her ridiculously tailored jacket and her beat-up Toyota Corolla keys sitting deliberately on the table as if to say, I save money? She was talking intensely to a middle-aged man in a suit, probably one of her finance contacts. I walked straight up to the table, surprisingly calm. My voice didn't even shake. Ashley, I said, leaning slightly over the table. She looked up, annoyed. Denise, what the hell are you doing here? I'm in a meeting. Oh, I said, putting the 2 sheets of paper down on the table right next to her keys. I'm just delivering a legal notice. I looked at the man she was meeting with. Sir, I apologize for interrupting, but your associate, Ms. Edwards, has been using company resources to conduct private surveillance and defamation against me, a private citizen, after a petty dispute over a forgotten birthday party. Ashley's face went from annoyed to horrified white. Denise, you're being completely unhinged. Get out of here. I ignored her. I pointed to the papers. This is a copy of the cease and desist I sent you on Friday. And this, I tapped the Twitter screenshots, is evidence of coordinated defamation and financial bullying orchestrated by you and my sister, Shirley Roberts, 29F, using a doctored screenshot of a 3-year-old Zelle request. Ashley tried to grab the papers. I was faster. Ashley, you used your legal contacts to run background checks on your friends. Hacked my Ring doorbell. You judged my $85 plumber bill and my rent, all because you wanted to prove you were somehow financially superior. I leaned in close. You treat friendship like a zero-sum game and you lose. She finally found her voice, high-pitched and strained. You are literally insane. I don't know what you're talking about. I was just trying to help you with your stress management. The classic Ashley denial. Don't gaslight me again, I said, my voice low and dangerous. Cole Smith, 22F, sent me the full unedited Twitter log and the original screenshot. I have the proof, Ashley. The competitive game is over. I paused for dramatic effect, NGL, because I wanted this moment to sink in. I am officially filing a non-emergency report with the police, citing unauthorized access to a security system and attempted cyberstalking. It might not lead to an arrest, but it creates a paper trail, Ms. Edwards. Your finance contact here should know exactly what that means for your reputation. Have a wonderful brunch. I turned around and walked out. I didn't look back. I got outside and immediately threw up in a nearby decorative bush, but I didn't care. I felt completely, physically emptied, but also victorious. The fallout, the police report, and the vanishing act when I got home, I immediately called Officer Rodriguez again, and this time my tone was different. I wasn't stammering about feelings. I was reciting statute numbers, thanks, Jess, and providing evidence, including the specific IP logs Nicole had sent me proving Ashley logged into my Ring system from her work address downtown. I filed a formal report. It took 4 hours of detailed accounting dates, times, the names of the burner accounts, the exact text of the DMs. The officer was much more engaged once I mentioned the corporate IP address and the connection to the A-squared litigation shell company. Suddenly, this wasn't just a friend fight. It was a potential misuse of corporate resources for personal vendetta, which is a huge deal in the finance world. The officer explained that the police couldn't necessarily charge her with a crime based solely on the evidence provided. They needed a warrant and further investigation, which they might not prioritize, but the paper trail was crucial for a restraining order or any future civil suit. Wednesday morning, the news hit fast. A mutual friend, Sarah, texted me a very awkward novel about the situation. Sarah, OMG Denise, I saw Ashley on Monday. She was freaking out. She said you threatened her with legal action in front of her investor. She looks like a ghost. Also, she deleted her Twitter and all her Instagram stories from the last week. I didn't reply to Sarah. I felt a surge of cold satisfaction. Ashley's Achilles heel wasn't her compassion, it was her reputation. Ruining her perfect, competitive facade was the ultimate leverage. And Shirley, she deleted the burner account Just Sister Things entirely. She also immediately transferred $150 to my Venmo with the description, "For the plumbing." I laughed. $150 for the $85 plumber bill. She overpaid because she was scared. I accepted the Venmo but blocked her again. I was not having contact with my toxic sister anymore, financially or otherwise. My $1,247 apartment might be small, but it was surely free now. Megan's final play, Megan Hernandez, 31F, the TikTok famous seeker, didn't vanish, she pivoted. About 72 hours after my confrontation with Ashley, I saw a video appear on my For You page sent by Jess. Title, Friend Group Fracture, the real tea on toxic friendships and digital spying. It was Megan. He had filmed an entire video about the drama, using completely fabricated facts and editing out any mention of Ashley's hacking, making me look like the unhinged villain who couldn't handle feedback. She used blurred screenshots of my formal cease and desist, calling it a legal threat over a missing slice of birthday cake. The comments were a disaster. Half were cheering for the drama, and the other half were saying I sounded like a psycho. I sent Megan a single, final text, referencing the cease and desist. You were ordered to cease and desist from using this conflict for content. I am forwarding this video and the attached legal documentation to TikTok's copyright department and your management team. I Googled it, NGL. Enjoy your viral moment, Megan. It's going to be short-lived. The video was taken down within 6 hours. Got an automated email from TikTok saying the content violated community guidelines regarding harassment and privacy. Megan tried to call me 17 times. I let them all go to voicemail. Character development. Nicole and Ashley. I haven't spoken to Ashley. I hear she had a massive argument with Shirley, accusing her of being too sloppy with the defamation strategy. Shirley apparently told Ashley that she should have just been a decent friend instead of trying to be a corporate overlord. Ashley and Shirley are not speaking, which is a massive relief for me. Nicole Smith, 22F, the email CC warrior, is the only one I kept contact with. I replied to her Hotmail email not thanking her but simply saying, I received the files. Thank you for your clarity. She replied, I quit my job today. I realized I was spending all my time trying to manage my life like a spreadsheet and I hated it. I'm thinking of applying for nursing school. No more Times New Roman. I smiled. Nicole, by hitting rock bottom and betraying her mentor Ashley, finally found a path away from the competitive, formal persona she had adopted. She realized that real relationships don't come with bullet points or interest rates. 6 weeks later, reflection and moving forward. So, it's been 6 weeks since I filed the police report and executed the confrontation. I still haven't moved out of my $1,247 apartment, but I have changed every single password in my life. I had to pay $100 to an IT guy to double-check my entire network, just in case Ashley had planted something else. Financial stress is real, but so is peace. I saw Ashley once, last week, at Trader Joe's. She saw me looking at the Talenti gelato. Oh, the irony. She looked genuinely miserable, not the confident, competitive shark I confronted. She just nodded quickly and ran to the produce section. I did not hide behind the cereal. I stood my ground, bought my groceries, and walked away. The friend group is permanently fractured. It was a messy nuclear explosion, exactly like Shirley's last breakup. I learned a few things the hard way, obviously. One, I am not the peacekeeper. I am the conflict manager. I spent so long trying to smooth things over and prevent arguments that I ended up enabling toxic behavior. Never again. My peace is not negotiable. 2 boundaries are non-negotiable legal documents. If someone disrespects your space, financial situation, or digital privacy, it's not just drama, it's abuse. Taking formal action, even just filing a police report for documentation, was the strongest form of self-respect I could muster. 3. My sister is a menace. I have permanently blocked Shirley on everything, including her phone number and my building intercom. I still have to worry about running into her on the stairs, but at least I'm not enabling her toxic tendencies anymore. I'm still dealing with the stress. I still check my phone constantly to make sure no one is trying to hack me. I'm currently eating ramen for the 3rd night in a row because the lawyer consultation ate up my discretionary funds, but you know what? Last night, Jess and I went to the movies, and I laughed out loud at a truly stupid comedy. It was the first honest, non-hysterical laugh it had in months. I realized that my priorities are finally straight. $1,247 rent, a cheap car, and a secure home network, all purchased with the freedom of not caring what Ashley Edwards thinks about my Zelle transactions. Forgotten 31st birthday turned into a necessary, messy, expensive, and stressful intervention for my own life. I finally understand why people hire lawyers for divorces. Sometimes you need a formal procedure to cleanly separate yourself from people who treat you like a competitor instead of a friend. Will I ever be fully over it? Probably not. But I'm no longer crying in the closet. I'm sitting on my couch, eating ramen, watching reality TV, and enjoying the silence. I guess the only thing left to say is, always change your passwords, and if someone asks you to join a party invite on a Twitter DM thread, run fast. Thanks for letting me vent and providing all the moral support. I couldn't have drafted that cease and desist without the sheer collective rage of the internet behind me. I am alive, barely, and I am finally free. We'll update if Ashley tries to serve me papers at my work or if Megan launches a new YouTube channel called Peacekeeper Confessions. But for now, I'm signing off.